Well, good morning. Today is Friday, August 15th, and we're doing a little test here, recording this presentation, at least for 15 or 20 minutes, to see how this works out. So the question was, I was asked, how do I save an image? Well, here's this very overpriced dog for $16,400. So whenever I point to any image, I do a right click on the image. And when I do, I can open the image. Again, I'm not going to read all of these to you, but you have several choices down here to save the image to a downloads folder. You might want to save it someplace else as a name you give it someplace else, or quite simply, just put it in photos. I report, you decide where you want to put it. So let's say I'm going to use this in a couple of weeks at a newsletter I'm going to make in Pages. That's what we're going to show you next. I'm recording this, and then we'll do it together. We'll see how this works out. So I'm going to save it to photos. And there he is. Just like that, that picture's in there. By the way, that's my new Cadillac right there. You know how much that costs? $340,000 for a Cadillac. They've made 12 of them, and they're all sold out. Good for those Arabs over there. Keep raising that price of oil. Good. Okay. So I did that. So now I've got my photo saved. So again, what did I do? I pointed to a picture. I did a right click, which are two fingers on your trackpad. I tap. Now notice this doesn't have that option. That doesn't have that option. Does this photo? This is an advertisement. No. So all pictures don't work the same way. That's interesting. That's very interesting. What about this gentleman here? Two finger tap. Gee, that's interesting. For some reason, it's not letting me do it again on this webpage. It was like one and done. I can't explain that. That's very unusual. Cute little dog there. So let's try it on the same.
Red circle.
That's my mouse pointer. That's part of my program. Yes, part of my program. That was the question. What does that red circle mean? And okay, let's try it again. The same dog. We went to a different place. I don't want to beat this to death. Here's the thing. By the way, this is it. Here's why. I just remembered. Having a programming background in New York, that's what they disallowed that option. That's my best guess. You can make a website where the right click has no functionality for that purpose. That's a fact. Now, again, we know it worked on the other page, so that is my logical guess of my background. Okay. So now what would I do with that image, Margie? Well, as I said earlier, starting in October, we're going to get into Pages. And we know that the green button makes the screen real big. And I'm going to make a new document. Again, you're just watching now. We'll do it together after I make this little video. I'm going to make a new something. Now, here's a warning. When you see the word blank, everyone see that? That's a word processing document. It's a lot different than blank layout. A layout is like a designer laying out a house. That's the difference. There's a big difference in the way they're utilized. But right now, I'm going to use it as a blank layout, my favorite. I'm going to click once, maybe I click twice, maybe three times. Sometimes double click does not open up the document. It's just the way they wrote the program. I click once, I go to create, and here comes my blank document. It's a layout. So what can I do here? Again, just real quick, I can put a text box in here. I can click in here, type in some gibberish. Again, it's not a typing class. It's just stuff you'd put in there. And then I can click out. I can move this up here. I can resize. Again, we'll do this. The whole point here is images. So now I have that picture of that overpriced dog. What do I do? Up here, if you can see, it says media. That red dot I know covers it, but that says media. And when I tap, I have a variety of choices. I want to go to photos because that's where I put that dog. When I tap, it loads. You really can't make it much bigger than this. I mean, that's kind of what you're limited to. But you do have access to all your albums, right? One of my Guggenheim Museum pictures. I love that one. So now that's in there. You only have to click once, by the way. You only have to click once. I'm going to go get it again. I'll get the dog this time, back to photos, and we're almost done. I'm going to go back up at the top, photos, and there's the puppy. Just one click, and then close it. And then he's there, and I can move him around. I can resize him. I can put him in behind the other one, right click. See, right click, align objects, send him to the back. Do I have back up there? Nope. Bottom.
It says the photo that says sent to them.
That's what I'm looking for. Line object, distribute, send to back. Thank you. So now I put them up there like that. That's the end of my recording. That was a quick tour of saving a photo, finding the photo, using the photo. And we used it in Pages, in page layout mode. All right, I'm going to stop recording. I'm going to click on this little button up here. That's the red S. And I'm now going to stop recording, quit. I want to do the save. It's down here. There it is.